This is problem 7-98 from section 7.1.6. Solve each of the following equations. So we want to get x by itself. So part A, it says 2 times the quantity x minus 1 squared equals 18. I want to get x by itself. So think about this. If I want to get x alone, I'm trying to make as little work for myself as possible. Okay? So I'm not going to actually multiply that stuff squared. I'm not going to do the rectangle or multiply the quantities together. I want to make it as easy as possible. I don't really want any x squareds or x's. I just want a singular version. So I'm going to get it by itself by dividing both sides by 2, actually, first. So that 2 cancel out. So I have x minus 1 squared equals 9. Right? Again, instead of multiplying this out, and because then you'd have to factor and do a bunch of stuff, let's just undo this squared. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Okay, so I have x minus 1 equals 3. Okay? Now I should have a second value or second equation because I have x minus 1 could also equal negative 3. The square root of 9 could be negative 3. Okay? So now I'm just going to solve these little equations, and I'm going to add 1 on both of them. So I'm going to get x equals 4 is one of my answers. Second one, I add 1, I get x equals negative 2 is one of my answers. Okay? So getting x by itself, we want the least amount of work possible. So don't actually multiply that squared quantity out. I want it just to get x by itself. Okay? Part B, I have an exponent that is a variable. That should clue you into you're going to do something with logarithms. But I need the 2x to be by itself first. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I'll have 2x equals 7. Okay, now it's by itself. Now I can use logarithms. If I add a log to both sides, okay, I want to bring down the x in front. I'll move down here and just kind of get rid of it up here. Okay, that's the power property, says I can do that. So I'm going to divide both sides by the log of 2. Remember, when the base is not written for a logarithm, I'm assuming it's a 10, and I can use my calculator button. So I'm going to get x equals approximately 2.81 if I round it. Okay? So solving for x, if it is an exponent, I'm going to use logarithms.